You have probably been manipulated today, you just did not notice it. And before this video ends, I'll show you one manipulation tactic that probably convinced you to click on this video. We're ranking these tactics based on three things: how often they work, how hard they are to recognize, and how much psychology research supports them. So let's start. Imagine you're buying a used car. The salesperson starts sitting like you, talking like you, even laughing when you laugh. This is called mirroring. When someone seems more like us, we naturally trust them more. That makes it easier for them to sell you something, convince you, or lower your guard. Some people use mirroring to build genuine connections. Others use it to gain your trust before asking for something they want, because it can quietly make people trust you more. Mirroring earns an A tier. Now imagine someone you just met, who texts you constantly. They give you compliments, gifts, big feelings, fast closeness. This is called love bombing. It floods you with attention until the relationship feels bigger than it really is. Your brain starts chasing that high. Then the warmth can suddenly drop and you work harder to get it back. Love bombing can look like romance at first, but the speed is often the warning sign, because it builds attachment fast and hides control underneath. Love bombing earns an S tier. You remember a moment clearly, then someone insists it never happened, or that you're too sensitive, or that you imagined the whole thing. This is called gaslighting. It makes you doubt your memory, your feelings, and your grip on reality. Once you stop trusting yourself, their version becomes easier to accept. Not every disagreement is gaslighting, but repeated denial of your experience is a different game, because it can rewrite someone's sense of reality. Gaslighting earns an S tier. Imagine you want to say no. Then they sigh and say how much they have done for you, how disappointed they are, how selfish you are being. This is called guilt tripping. It turns your empathy into a lever. You stop choosing what you want and start choosing what avoids the guilt. Caring people are especially easy targets because guilt works quietly, and often guilt tripping earns an S tier. Imagine a relationship that feels amazing one day, cold the next, then warm again with no clear reason. This is called intermittent reinforcement. The reward comes just often enough to keep you hooked. Casinos use the same pattern. Your brain keeps waiting for the next good moment. Some inconsistency is normal. This is different. It trains you to chase approval, because that push and pull is hard to quit once it starts. Intermittent reinforcement earns an A tier. Imagine someone hurts you, then they act wounded when you bring it up. Suddenly you're comforting them instead. This is called playing the victim. It steals sympathy and dodges responsibility in one move. You leave the conversation feeling guilty for having a boundary. Real pain deserves care, but using victimhood as a shield against accountability is something else, because it flips blame so smoothly. Playing the victim earns an A tier. Imagine grand plans, vacations, marriage, a better future together, then none of it arrives. This is called future faking. The promise creates hope, and hope keeps you invested. You stay for a future that was never being built. Dreaming together can be healthy. Promising a life you never intend to create is not, because it buys time with borrowed hope. Future faking earns an A tier. Imagine a fight ends, then comes silence, no reply, no explanation, just distance. This is called the silent treatment. It creates anxiety and pressure without a single argument. You start guessing what you did wrong. You try to apologize to end the silence. Needing space is normal. Using silence as punishment is control, because it is obvious once you name it, but still painful in practice. The silent treatment earns a B tier. Imagine they mention how someone else would never complain like you, or how an ex was easier, or how a friend agrees with them. This is called triangulation. A third person gets pulled in to create jealousy, competition, or doubt. You stop evaluating the issue and start competing for your place. Direct conflict can be healthy. Recruiting an audience to unsettle you is not, because it works through insecurity more than force. Triangulation earns a B tier. Imagine they say if you leave, they will fall apart, or that you owe them after everything, or that bad things will happen if you do not comply. This is called emotional blackmail. It uses fear, obligation, and guilt as a package deal. Your choice gets framed as cruelty. Pressure is not the same as honesty, because it is blunt once you see it. Emotional blackmail earns a B tier. Imagine a compliment that stings. You look nice today. For once, you're pretty smart for someone like you. This is called negging. It is a disguised insult designed to lower your confidence. If you feel off balance, you may seek their approval harder. Flirting can include teasing, but the goal of negging is insecurity, not connection, because it is easier to spot and often backfires. Negging earns a C tier. Imagine affection is warm when you agree, then it disappears when you do not. No fight, just colder energy until you give in. This is called love withdrawal. Love becomes a reward you have to earn through obedience. That trains people to abandon their needs to keep the peace. Taking space after conflict can be mature. Trading love for compliance is not, because the pattern is clearer than gaslighting. Love withdrawal earns a C tier. Imagine a raised voice, standing too close, threats, a look that says you should be careful. This is called intimidation. It uses fear to shut down your choices. It can work in the moment, but it is loud, obvious, and leaves clear damage. Because people often recognize it faster than subtler tactics, intimidation earns a D tier. So why did you click on this video? It probably was not an accident. The thumbnail uses strong contrast to grab your attention. The title creates curiosity without giving away the answer. Neither one forces you to click, but together they make your brain want to know more. The same psychological principles can be used to educate, entertain, sell products, or manipulate people. The important part is knowing when they are being used on you.